Hi, I am Yuki, and today I will be your storyteller. Make yourself comfortable and we'll get right on it. Chapter 1. As a young man lay on the ground after being hit by a monster whale, he pondered about how he had better eyesight when he was young compared to kids his age. He also talked about how his athleticism was very good, and how he had much more strength than his peers. He now thought of him as a 7-year-old child, and it seems like at least one person could be saved in this world full of whale monsters. He almost forgot the reason why he always gets angry. His life was much brighter than this awful world until he met a young man who saved him from the giant whale monster, told him not to give up, and encouraged him to stand on his feet. The young man that saved him made a promise to him that as long as the fishermen exist, humanity still has hope. Then he said to himself that he was going to become a hero like him someday. 10 years later, at the first arc inner wall site, 2 ladies who were repairing the wall were seen discussing the battle that happened the previous day and how bloody it must have been. One of them asked, "Why do whales appear like this every day?" She complained of being tired of the situation. The other lady replied that she was also tired of her complaint. The lady making the complaint then replied by asking why she couldn't make a complaint. She further said that she was doing pointless work by wiping away whale blood. The other lady called her an idiot and asked her what she was saying. She further said that if she doesn't clean the whale blood, it will quickly corrode the ark's wall. While cleaning the wall, she was seen asking a young man, known as IRI, if the work they were doing was meaningful. The young Erie, who is 17 years old, laughed and said, "Yes, a life like this, where your nose rots in the blood of corrosive substances, must have some meaning." One of the ladies who had been seen earlier cleaning the wall then asked IRI what he was holding. Leader Benjamin, who's known as the exterior wall management team leader, was seen conversing with IRI. He began by telling IRI not to be lazy. He made it known to IRI that he's the team leader and he shouldn't expect him to be working. After that, Benjamin, who's the team leader, was seen addressing his team and giving accolades for a job well done. He continued by telling them that by the next day, they must make sure they dump the corrosiveness out of the ark. Benjamin continued by splitting the task they were going to do the next day among his team members. He told Team A that they were going to handle opening the door. When he was about to mention throwing out the filth task, IRI cut him short by disagreeing with the task. IRI mentioned that he feels like his nose up to his eyes are paralyzed whenever he does it. Benjamin insisted that he should do it himself. However, IRI, in an angry manner, asked himself if he should kill him. He asked if he wanted him to do it himself. Benjamin told IRI that it's better for only one person to suffer. IRI then asked if that person was him. Benjamin then asked if being alone was not enough and if he wanted to add his teammates. Benjamin then dismissed his team members and told them to go back to work. After that, one of the team members came to IRI to ask him what he was going to do with the filth all by himself. He further told him that when thinking about it, it gives him goosebumps. IRI, in an angry manner, asked him if he was messing with him. He told him that he didn't have the strength to fight with him. Then he walked out and told him that they would see each other the next day. On the outskirts of the first arc, IRI was seen lying on his bed. Then he sat on his bed and began to talk to himself. After that, he stood up and held onto his fist. He began to ask himself what he was doing. The next day, IRI was seen pushing the filth. Benjamin kept telling him to push harder. IRI then told him to open the door. Benjamin then told the team members to only open the door to the first level, and the door should be closed as soon as the filth is dumped. Benjamin told the team members that he thinks it will be over if they do it 20 more times. IRI then asked himself if they were all crazy for agreeing to the task. Then he mentioned that he'll shove whale poop into the team leader's pillow sooner or later. A lady in the team was seen conversing with Benjamin. The lady then talked about what had happened to IRI 7 years ago when he washed ashore. She recounted that if it hadn't been for the team leader who was there, IRI wouldn't have been alive, and since he was aware of this, he worked even harder. Benjamin then replied that IRI was just acting out. IRO, on the other hand, was trying to increase the volume of his work to level 2, but Benjamin tries to stop him. After that, when the giant whale monster appeared, everyone started running for safety, while Benjamin told IRI to call for support before it was too late. However, the whale attacked indiscriminately, which made Benjamin, who's the team leader, tell IRI to run away, but he refused and attacked the whale monster instead. But his attack had no effect on the whale. While he was distracted, the whale struck him with his tail, which caused IRI to cough out blood. He thought to himself at that point that he was helpless, and there was nothing he could do. Then he said to himself, "What kind of king was I trying to become? You fool!" After that, he powered up, and his left hand changed into something else, which made him attack the giant whale monster instantly. After killing the giant whale monster, an unknown entity appeared due to the changes that occurred within IRI, and that entity seems to be aware of the changes in IRI's hand and how they have affected the wheel of time and destiny. It then tried to attack him while telling him that only one of them could survive. Then Benjamin shouted IRI's name out of concern. Chapter 2. At the DI district, people were seen at the scene where the giant whale was being killed by IRI. At the scene, there was a corpse of a butchered whale monster being investigated. A hand is seen holding the flesh of the whale, asking if he should say it was skillful or clumsy. The investigator continued by asking if it could be an escaped fisherman. A lady then answered that from looking at the whale carcass, she could tell it wasn't a pro. She continued by saying that it was the work of a skilled amateur. IRI then was seen standing stiffly, which made the lady scared and ask him who he was. Then the investigator told her that she had asked him to go call those who were at the site during the incident. Benjamin, who was seen with crutches and a bandage on his leg, introduced himself as the team leader who had been in charge of the site during the previous incident. After that, Benjamin told IRI to get some sleep because it was meant to be his day off from work. IRI then told him that he came to work because he was told to. The team leader then asked about the lady's identity. As she was about to introduce herself, Benjamin cut her off by telling her that he already explained the details of the incident to the investigation team. He then told her to please stop and go back because they were busy fixing the site at the moment. Then IRI recalled that the team leader was scolding him as soon as he saw him. Then he remembered that the incident that happened the previous day wasn't a dream. While he was deep in thought, the team leader interrupted him, telling him to pay attention to what he was saying. He told IRI that when he passed out, his hands returned to normal. IRI then confirmed that his hand had returned to normal. Benjamin then asked him to move his hands to see if anything had changed and asked him if it had turned back to normal. Then IRI told him he didn't think so. After that, Benjamin told IRI to understand and listen to him. He told him that no one could know that he was the cause of the previous incident. Then he asked him why he put on a disappointed look. IRI then replied that he can't boast about something amazing. Benjamin continued by asking if that was the only reason. He told him that fishermen were the only ones with that kind of power. Then IRI asked if he had the fisherman's blood in him like the hero Grinard. Then the team leader told him he was just a human. He told him to keep his mouth shut so that his everyday life wouldn't disappear. After that, IRI went off the scene. IRI and the other guy were lying on the ground, and they were thinking about what the world of Fantasia used to be like. It used to be a fertile ground for civilization. It was ruined by whales who coveted the land. Humanity was on the verge of extinction. As a result of the appearance of the fishermen, humanity launched a counterattack and drove the whales away. So what the surviving humans did was to avoid the ruined land, build an ark at the edge of the continent, and create a new civilization. This ark was thought to be the future of mankind. Is there no other solution to this dilemma other than the fishermen? Then IRI shouted, "Whale!" which led to him feeling the energy of a whale. It made no sense to him that he knew in advance that a whale would appear in the first place. He noticed that the feeling he had earlier wasn't just a hallucination. Meanwhile, Benjamin ordered everyone to stay calm and evacuate to the air raid shelter. A lady then called out to the team leader, and she mentioned to him that she had gone in search of IRI but couldn't find him. The team leader told her not to worry because he'd soon be there. After that, the lady called out to the team leader to tell him that she couldn't find Moha. Another guy mentioned that Moja was always blaming himself for what had happened the previous day, and he mentioned that he wanted to be alone with the Dyke Church. At the B3 outer wall, another giant whale appeared, which caused more chaos. Different people were seen attacking and trying to kill the whale. A guy was seen complaining about how strong the whale was. Then they began to question themselves about whether it was actually a whale. Then IRI noticed he was the only one left, and he needed to go to the district. While on his way, he noticed a figure which made him frightened. He noticed his hand had lost control. It began to drag him, but it stopped at a particular point. He began to question himself about his location. Then he noticed Moja inside the whale. He questioned Moja about what he was doing there. IRI then asked him if he was doing it on purpose, knowing that there was a whale there. Meanwhile, Moja told him to help him if he had seen enough. IRI then questioned himself about whether it was really a whale that looked like it was mocking him. He mentioned that he's not sure what it is. He mentioned that he might be able to save Moha using the power from last time. Meanwhile, IRI thought of what he could do. After that, he used his power to bring Moja out of the whale. He kept on asking himself why he was worrying like an idiot. He mentioned the importance of a regular life when a person is dying. After that, he said to himself that a hero never hesitates. We will continue this story soon. In the meanwhile, you can choose from this exciting stories. See you there.